welcome to the Sabrosa Podcast, your underground hub.
Welcome back to another episode of the Sabrosa Podcast.
Damn.
Today's a very special day. We got Louis in the building.
What's popping?
Give it up. All right, so how are you doing today?
You know we blessed.
We blessed.
Yeah.
And I am very excited for today's episode because we have a fellow Latino on board from Peru.
Yes.
From Peru. I've always wanted to go to Peru.
Really?
Yeah, I always like Machu Picchu's over there, right?
Machu Picchu's over there. I've never been there, but I actually want to go there. So let's
That's where I want to go. We should go.
Let's go. Okay.
Let's go. It looks dope. So I definitely want to like dive right in. We have so many things to cover. I want to get into like your journey from the beginning. So I did watch your documentary. Guys, please subscribe to his YouTube channel. I am Louis.
I am Louis.
I am Louis. Make sure you go to his website. Make sure you check everything out. You have a very dope documentary that you dropped, and it's kind of like a self-reflection that I definitely want to talk about. You talk about your journey coming from, you know, you said this is your words verbatim, where I came from nothing and like I'm living the American dream, right? So tell us a little bit about that journey for you of like being a child and kind of like what sparked the journey as a young boy with music, living in Peru.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. It's kind of crazy, like, you know, coming from like a different country and then coming to America, you get like a whole different life perspective. You know, of course, my family came here for freedom, for a new opportunity, for new chances, because back in my country in Peru, specifically, I guess in my environment, we didn't have that, like those many opportunities, I mean, those many chances. And so my family just, or not my family, my mother and my father decided to just come to take a chance, take a risk with nothing, to just come here. And, you know, we came here, we crossed the border, and probably took a couple of days. I was like 4 years old, so I don't remember too much.
Yeah.
But, you know, we came here for a better life.
Yeah, that's dope because I feel like when you said that specifically in a documentary, I was like, my parents had me here, but my brother and my sister came from the Dominican Republic. So I've heard them talk about like, oh, we lived in a house without nothing. Like we had dirt on the floor. Like it wasn't even floors. It was like hay on the top. Like it wasn't even a roof. Like it was like made of hay and like
Hey, it's crazy.
bamboo.
That's
and
crazy.
like that's what the house is made from. And they would shower in like with buckets and stuff.
That's like a tribe back in the day.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Like they still have the same house, but they remodeled, like, you know, they add like another newer house, like a remodeled house, but they still have like the OG house. So it's just like hearing that story is kind of reminding me of like what my brother and my sister told me how their life was in DR before they got here. And like just you know, I feel like you have a lot of drive. I feel like you came and then you started. But how did your music journey start? I did read that it kind of started with your family at the age of 3.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like it's always been part of my life. It's always been part of my journey. But the thing is the thing about my culture is that we don't take like being a musician as a career thing.
Right.
So it's not like, you know, chase your dream, chase that career, because they think, at least my family, at least my environment, thought that it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, but to be like a musician, an entertainer, I was always performing for my family. My family were also musicians. They were traditional musicians. They would play like a cajon. They would make like homemade instruments with like some spoons and just make some music, some sound. And I would just perform, do some poems, and entertain, really. And then I think that's how it kind of like evolved.
Yeah. Do you play instruments too?
I started with the guitar. I don't play it no more.
Yeah.
I never continued it. Yeah, I started with the guitar. I don't play it no more.
The guitar is dope. I mean,
It's fire.
As far as I got, I think I played like the flute. So I played like the recorder, and then I played the flute, and then that's it.
I tried the flute too a little bit.
The flute's fire though.
It just takes some time.
Yeah.
It takes some time for you to
It
practice.
does, like, reading notes. I remember I used to know how to read music.
I never knew.
I learned it.
I mean, I think I learned like in trumpet, because I used to play the trumpet too.
Ooh,
later
that's
on.
cool.
So a little bit, but the guitar now.
Yeah.
The guitar now.
I definitely want to get into like your style of music because you have all kinds of things. You have drill, you have Spanish tracks, you have love songs, like you got rap, like so tell me a little bit about your creative process like when you're because I did see it, like I pay attention. You said when I'm going to the studio I ain't got time to waste because time is money.
That's a fact.
And you said that when you go to the studio you ready to go.
That's a fact.
And I feel like tell us a little bit about your creative journey, like when you're how do you decide what type of track you want to make before you go into the studio, like since you pre-plan.
Yeah, it's all about the feeling. It's all about the feeling. It's all about the moment.
Yeah.
And then from that moment, from that feeling, it manifests.
I feel like it's fire because I feel like when an artist such as yourself knows what they want to do before they even go do it, it like translates in the art that they put out. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're lit, like you're opening at show, like you're opening at festivals, you're doing your thing, like you're active, you're dropping music consistently, and you're also like your quality of work is very like up there. So I definitely want to like let you know, like I can tell like when I was doing research on you, like I was already tapped in, but when I had to do my homework for real, I was like, yo, like his stuff is really dope, like your visuals. So I just want to like shout you out because it's like it looks like I'm watching a movie. Even the doc is only 10 minutes, but I'm like, this is so well put together. Like, so I definitely want to congratulate you on
Appreciate you
that.
for that.
I definitely want to get into more of your creative avenues and tell us a little bit about this NFT stuff that you have going on. What is an NFT for somebody that doesn't
Kind
know?
of crazy. Yeah, I mean, NFTs is just an abbreviation, non-fungible token. And not to get too complicated because it can get very complicated. It's just a digital art. So, we have a physical art.
Yeah.
It's just a digital art online. And you can put your music in. You can put any kind of art, your visuals, music videos, and then people could collect that. Your collectors.
Yeah.
People who believe in you.
Yeah.
Who believe in your music. Believe in yourself. And they collect you to support you. And so that's how you create, a new market, your new audience, and just a new way to expand your music. My music, at least.
That's actually a good way to have leverage too. Like if somebody's coming to you like, yo, I want to give you a distribution deal, whatever the case may be, or I want to give you some kind of deal. You're like, I bet I already have this record on file, so like you could like leverage like contract negotiations essentially with that too. So it gives you like another digital footprint, right?
Yeah, actually, it's part of your resume.
Yeah, that's actually dope. How does one get in it? Like, do you like make it and then like sell it?
Yeah, technically you create it. There's a tech behind it. You can create any kind of NFTs technically. So different qualities have different platforms as well too. You can create it yourself though. So if you're out there, if you create music, create it yourself, and create your own wave. Because at the end of the day, we're here for a long time. So might as well do the things that we love, right?
No, seriously, like say it again because we have to do the things that we love, not what we think other people think is cool. Like we got to do it our way because we're one of one, right? So I feel like that's important. A lot of people do things. That's why I like what you're doing because I feel like you're doing a lot of things and you're being yourself while you're doing it. So that definitely want to congratulate you on that. And I definitely want to ask you a question. So you do tracks in Spanish. So how is the difference in audience for like your Latino audience versus your like I'm not gonna say English audience but like American audience?
Yeah, so like the difference, I mean, it's the difference of language, of course, people understand English, and then the difference of understanding Spanish is a whole different thing. But I think it's all about the vibes at the end of the day. If your music has the right vibes, or because it could be very subjective. What is good vibes for you, right? So but what I realized is that if it's good vibes, if it's aligned with the audience, it doesn't matter if it's English or Spanish.
Yeah,
the audience just aligns with them, and they fuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they just they go crazy if it's some some good shit.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy because like that song by El Alfa, La Mamá de la Mamá de la Mamá, like he had everybody singing that track. So that's like a perfect example of that. Like it don't matter. Like music is a universal language.
Exactly.
It's all about the vibes. That's dope. Do you have anybody that you haven't worked with that you would like to work with?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of goals, that of course that I do want to work with, like people who are more experienced. One specifically person that's been like my idol since, I guess, since probably, I mean, I wouldn't be who I am musically if it wasn't for this artist, and I would probably have to say Arcángel.
Ooh, Arcángel, that's fire.
So like, without
Quiero llevarte.
facts, yeah. Nah, facts. Yeah. So without him, I'm not sure who I would be today.
Yeah.
So
How do you feel about Arcángel kind of like paying homage? Like I feel like he went back and he worked with like Bad Bunny, like newer people. I think that's cool. Don't you think that's cool?
I think so too.
I think that's dope because it gives people like you're doing your thing, you're grinding, so it's like okay, he's still active. I still have a chance. Like you would still have a chance to get like a feature from him. I don't see why not. I feel like he's still doing music.
Yeah, I mean,
So I feel like I say shoot that email. You never know. Send that whatever you gotta do. Send that verse. I feel like that's dope. What do you think about like the reggaeton collective that's going on right now, like with Bad Bunny, Arcángel, El Alfa, Young Miko? She's dope. What do you think about them? Like that whole Puerto Rican collective.
I honestly, I like it. I fucks with it.
I think I like it a lot
I
too.
like the evolution of it. It's evolving.
Yeah, that's what I'm
so-
saying. Yo, Miko's going crazy. Like she, like when I hear her, I'm like, yo, she's like a female Bad Bunny. I'm like, yo, she's fire. Like she's fire. I think she's fire. Do you like her?
Miko?
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't heard of her like that. So,
You have to tap in with her. Her name is Young Miko,
Young Miko?
and she just like she's coming out of Bad Bunny's camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
fire.
I'ma
Check her out.
All right, get that.
Check her out. Check her
Young
out.
Miko.
Tell us a little bit about like your preparation for like your shows, like when you're opening. Like, what's a recent show that you just did recently? Like, where you opened up for?
I just did an NFT NYC 2024.
How was that?
Which is part of the NFT convention.
That was fire. How was that?
It was good. Probably my biggest show yet. Probably my best performance too. So
Wow.
catch it. I think there's some clips somewhere.
Yeah. Make sure y'all tap in. Go type that name in. Yo, you see, like, and do you get nervous before performances?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you rehearse before? Okay,
Yeah.
do you rehearse before? Like, do you like do
Of
a little
course,
quick
yeah.
1-2 in your room the
That's
night
how you.
before?
That's how you minimize your nervousness. That's how you
Right.
minimize your anxiety. That's how you minimize the negative feelings
Mm-hmm.
that an artist or a performer could get. Just by being ready, by being
Mm-hmm.
prepared. We gotta rehearse, and the more you rehearse, the more confident you are, and So that's what happened technically at NFT NYC is my latest performance after so many years of performing that I felt really comfortable and just went crazy on like 30-minute slots. So just went
30-minute slot? That's
So
great.
that was like, so just I played like what 10 songs back to back, kind of just it was a great experience though.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, and I think we're ready for like the next wave, the next movement of just performing.
Yeah. You know what song's a vibe? The that Mota song? That shit's a
Fucks with
vibe.
it?
Yeah, I fucks with Mota.
right.
I saw it. I was like, click. I was like, that shit fire. Like, that shit's 420 friendly. You already know. And I think it's a vibe. It's like Spanish drill. It's like, that's that shit. Like, I liked it. So performing's a breeze. Like, you good. You got it down packed. Have you ever forgot the lyrics?
Oh
to
yeah,
the song
100%.
before?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. The more you perform, the better you get at it, though. But in the beginnings years, yeah, I mean, in the first years, my first songs, if you don't rehearse, that happens. And that's part of the nervousness. It's
Yeah.
like making sure that I don't forget any lyrics, making sure that I don't forget anything, because you want to make the best performance, and that's also what I realized is that I can't just perform anywhere. I have to make sure that the stage is right, that the lighting is right, that the sound is right, so then I can perform my best.
And that the crowd is right.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the whole energy. That's
Exactly.
another thing that how do you, as an artist, right? How do you know when to say no?
It's by your experience. That's how I know, I guess. Based on my experience, you know what you're gonna get into, so you know what's worth it or what's
right,
not.
right. And I feel like you have also, does public speaking help with like navigating through these spaces as
For
well?
sure, public speaking does help a lot.
It does, right?
A lot.
Tell us a little bit about your journey into becoming a public speaker, because I think that's not easy to do. Like a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just had like my first speaker event at NYC. Technically, my goal was not to truly become a speaker, but initially with this route, with this journey, you do have to learn how to speak.
Yeah.
So it's important, and so just being able to share your thoughts, share your ideas, um, it's important to do. So just
Yeah.
just learning every single day. I'm not the best at it, but I'm learning every single day. So
Yeah, I feel like we all learn through each other's experiences too. So I feel like also even if somebody is shy to speak up or doesn't want to, like it's important for them if they have something to say it, because somebody could learn through that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of times like no question is a stupid question, because it's like most of the time what you're asking, somebody else has the same
Somebody else,
question in their
yeah,
head,
yeah.
and they just afraid to ask. So I feel like do you feel like fear paralyzes us? Like fear, it paralyzes us.
yeah, I think so. I think fear does.
Me too.
That's why we can't just who gives a fuck? Just do it. You only have
Yeah.
one life. Just do it. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You learn.
Yeah.
So
Tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now. Like, do you have like shows coming up? Do you have another album in the works? Like, what can you give us a little walk through what's coming for Louis?
yeah, for sure. There's a couple events that I'm doing. You can check out Threads and the Vibes in a couple of weeks. I release music every single day. I mean, not every single day, every single month.
Yeah, you are very consistent.
So you can catch at least one new song every single month. I'm working on my EP, my artist duo EP, artist and producer EP. So that's something that I'm working on as well too. Also, I'm working on Web 2 versus Web 3, talking about the NFTs. So I have some Web 2 collaborations versus Web 3 collaborations, and I'm just gonna put it together as an EP and just make that happen. And so
Yeah.
just working on a couple of things, a couple of projects, but yeah.
That's fire. Staying busy. And you also have a master's degree, which is fire.
We have a bachelor's. We're in our master's.
You're in a master's,
pursuit,
but
yeah.
like that's like big. So you already graduated. You have a bachelor's, and now you're pursuing your master's.
Right, yeah.
And then isn't that hard? And also, how do you balance everything?
Yeah, so I just got into my well, I'm not. It's 2 years now, so I'm doing part-time my master's.
You're in
and
there. Yeah, you're like
No,
pursuing it.
the first time I got into like my first semester, it was crazy because it's a whole different standard of education, and I wasn't expecting that. I've heard of it. I've heard people.
I've
talk,
heard about it. Yeah.
but it's a whole different thing hearing it and then experiencing it. So it was definitely a whole adaptation that I had to go through, but nonetheless, it makes you stronger.
It
Your
does.
standards get bigger, you're stronger, and your work ethic gets stronger. Everything gets stronger. So your mentality gets stronger because you go through things. After every challenge, you get stronger.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of our strength today.
I feel like knowledge is power.
Knowledge
Like
is
for
power.
sure. Like, I'm sure you don't feel the same, if you didn't have your college education versus if you did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So I think knowledge is power, but I think with wisdom is the true power. Because
Yeah.
of course you can have knowledge, but sometimes we might know things, but we don't use it. We don't
apply it.
apply it. We don't, so it's making sure that we remember because we're us as human beings, we're very emotional.
Yep.
So in a moment we get these emotions and then we lose the logic sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to remember that.
That's true. I feel like that is true because, if you don't practice, if you don't practice things over and over and over again, you're going to lose it. So, yeah, wisdom, that's where the wisdom come in. Like, do you know better? Do you not know better? And I feel like especially like being in, like nobody, there's no dictionary or there's no handbook of how to do this. Like people just doing it. Like,
So I feel like because I've been reading books now.
Okay,
so
tell us.
I feel like books. There are books. Yeah, there are books that might have like some secret gems that might help you with
Yeah.
your journey.
True.
That's what I've realized. Because back in high school, I hated to read books. Now I found this passion of reading books because it helps me develop.
Yeah.
It helps me grow in ways that I never thought that I could have.
Do you have some books that you would recommend?
I just read I Will Teach You How to Be Rich.
Okay.
It kind of teaches you about your finances a little bit, just kind of investing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So I just read that book. It was okay.
Hmm.
It reinforced a lot of like my mentality a little bit. So
Yeah. I actually just recently learned about like stocks. Like I just
mm,
recently got paid like for some stocks like not too long ago, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I don't even know. I forgot that when I was working at Apple, like I invested in it,
mm,
and I was like, oh wow, so this is what everybody be doing. Like this is like where it's at. Like you don't gotta work per hour. You could just trade some like that's crazy. So I
yeah,
feel like that's a perfect example of like knowledge or wisdom. I didn't know until I knew.
that's a fact.
Like you
Yeah,
know what
no,
I'm saying? And then once you know, you're like, okay, well, work smart, not hard. Like, you know, us working per hour, like kind of like how our parents raised us, like work hard so you could be successful. Nah, you just gotta work smart. Like that's basically what it's about. I feel like.
that's a fact. Yeah.
So I definitely want to get into your visuals because I feel like you're very creative when it comes. Do you make your own treatments?
Uh, so sometimes I do. I love to be part of it. Some photographers, some videographers actually like to do the treatments themselves. But I'm always open to help out to give my opinion, my visuals. But if I'm working with you, then I'm trusting you in some way. So, but yeah, usually I do, but it's not required. But
Yeah.
I usually like to. Yeah.
The heartbreak specifically, the heartbreak part 3, that visual is super dope. And the woman that you had playing in there,
Heartbreak. Okay.
the heartbreak, like she was like by herself, kind it was look like a self-portrait of her, but she was like kind of like acting out your story, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was like but her like from her perspective, that's kind of where I got it, right? Kind
Right.
of.
Right.
And to me that was cool because it was like, for like the beginning of it, it was mostly her and it was just like your voice, right? And then you come like it was dope to me. Like I felt like it was different. It wasn't something like, you see the artist so face forward and all the visuals. So to see something like that, it gives it like that mystique. So
Okay.
I wanted to let
I'm
you
glad
know
you
that
like
it's
it.
dope. I really like it. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about are you like married? Are you
I'm
single?
not married. No.
Do you have children?
I don't have children now.
Really? How
That's
old are
crazy.
you?
I'm 29.
Oh my God, you're a unicorn just like me.
Unicorn?
A unicorn, yeah. You're
Oh.
almost 30. You don't have kids.
Oh shit.
That's
Damn.
crazy. We're
That's a
unicorns.
I'm a
You feel me? We're
Damn, that's
unicorns.
crazy.
We're rare. Okay, so what do you think about? So I can ask this question. I always ask that before I ask these questions. So making a song that's so emotional and stuff like that. How do you feel about the current state of dating? Like how dating is today in 2024?
How is it today? Um,
The
based,
dating pool.
yeah, based off like my experience, like I don't think it's like too difficult. But the thing about it is that we're all constantly just busy doing our own thing. That it really takes somebody special for you to actually like get out of your regular routine, your regular things that you do daily, because we have goals, we have missions to accomplish. So I think that's where I think like the misalignment might come in. But if you're aligned with that person, mentally, spiritually, and you like and she whatever she likes or he like whatever the case is, then I think it's okay.
Yeah. Do you believe in marriage? Like, is that like a life goal of yours? Like, do you feel like, oh, I want to get married and I want to have a family someday?
That's crazy. Traditionally, right, in our
Right.
culture, in our
That's what I'm
family,
asking.
people. I mean, there's some expectations, but and like I would want to. I think I would want to one day. I think just to like make my partner happy as well too. If that's what makes her happy, whatever the case is, But I don't think for me, I don't see marriage as a necessity, a mandatory thing. But if you're aligned with that, I'm open to it. It's not like I'm close to it, but I just don't think marriage could like it could. You can't force anybody to do anything.
Right.
So
People gonna want to have to.
Not even marriage.
And they're gonna want like it has to come from both ends. Like, and I feel like us culturally because we're Latinos, right? So my parents are Dominican, and your family's from Peru. So I feel like it's very similar. Like we're expected to have a family by a certain age. We're expected to have kids by a certain age. And like if we don't, it's kind of like it's taboo. Like what's wrong with you? And I feel like nowadays, like marriage is like what? Like people get married today and get divorced tomorrow. So like does it really matter? Is it still the same values as it was 30 years ago? I don't think so. You know? So I feel like I don't know. I don't think it's important to me personally. I don't think that marriage should determine how you feel about somebody.
No, yeah, it's a crazy thing.
But
You
it's a
know?
very touchy subject because a lot of people believe in it because they feel like, you know, that's what solidifies a relationship. That's what solidifies a bond. Like,
I mean, initially by the law, you're stuck with that person once you marry somebody. Like so, like you're forcing somebody. I mean, that's how I see it, though. You know, some people might be like, "Oh, I want to be with this person forever." Like it's okay. Like you know, for me, for me, I'm still like learning. Maybe I don't know.
yeah, okay. But for men, I feel like men, I don't. Okay, y'all are more logical and women were emotional, right? So I feel like that's where the disconnect is, right? So I feel like sometimes it comes across like we're trying to make y'all do something, but it's just because that's what we feel is right. It's not like we're trying to control y'all. It's more like we feel this is the right thing to do. So please just do what I say. And then if you don't, you're going to hurt my feelings. Like that's how we operate. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like men, they're like, I hear you, but I ain't doing it. And so I feel like doing it.
Yeah, so
You
I think
know?
I think that's where the alignment is important.
That's, yeah.
Right?
That it is important. It is important. I feel like it's a very touchy thing. Do you do like meet and greets with your fans? Like do you like when you do shows and stuff like that, like are they able to come and like chop it up with you and like get close and like, you know, not close like too close, but like, you know, come talk to you and like chop it up with you and stuff?
Yeah, I haven't done an official meet and greet, but I'm always open to my fans and my supporters because I truly appreciate anybody
Yeah.
who just takes the time to just even come and say hello, to even take a listen to my music, anything that you just take your time in, you know, just to do. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
always open to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the number one connection, like your fans, like that. Those are the number one people. I feel like, you know, as just an artist or as a creative in general, like people always have to make time. So I always like to see there's an opportunity, y'all. If you're watching this and you tapped in, go up to him, say what's up. You feel me? He's human as well. Like you know what I'm saying. So, tell us a little bit about like what's next for you. Do you act as well?
I haven't done any acting. I've done a couple like skits for like some college classmates, but that's not really what I do. Am I interested in it? I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's not like I'm closed minded to that. I just right now I'm just focused, I guess, into my music and just becoming better as I'm also pursuing my masters as well too. So just kind of making sure that I'm mentally good and also spiritually. But yeah, I mean, talking about acting, I haven't done anything that's acting related, but I'm open minded to that. I wouldn't say I'm closed minded to that.
Well, I think that's dope. I think it's all overall creative, and I think you should go into it a little bit more because watching your videos, you do a very good job translating like what your vibe is into like what you're doing in the video. So I feel like you'll be a good actor. Like just by seeing your visuals, I feel like that will work for you. And the camera looks good. Everything looks good. I'm like, okay, check them out. Like, so acting's cool. We did talk about some people in the future that you might want to work with, which is Arcangel, and then you said you was working on an album. Do you have
EP.
the EP?
Yeah, EP.
Why? How come EP and not an album?
Yeah, so I want to make my album really special. So of course all my projects are special in a way. But I really want to make my first album something out of this world. So I want to be in a different space when I do get into that mindset.
What's the like when you're going into album mode or EP mode or any type of project? Do you isolate yourself like from your like? Are you one of those people that's like, nah, I'm just gonna be in the house preparing for this, or do you go out and seek inspiration? Like, do you like what's your preparation process before you're doing these things? Like, do you isolate or do you kind of go out to get inspiration from other things?
It's like both.
It's like both, right?
Yeah, it's like both. So maybe I'll spend a week just writing, focusing on music, and then the next week I'll focus on balancing myself out, maybe hanging out with friends, going out, getting some sunlight, and I think just balancing that out in a weekly or maybe daily basis, I think that works for me.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like also the fact that you write poetry, like naturally, I feel like that also helps too, because the poem you could just transition it into a song,
Yeah, and originally that's how I started writing,
right?
writing poems. So
That's cool.
poems for my mom actually. So that was crazy.
Actually, the story about I don't like to bring in like dark topics or anything, but the fact that your mom was going through cancer was something that I actually identified with, because my mom also got cancer. So she went through the whole process of it. She's still here with us today, thank goodness. But just that hurt of like, you know, kind of like, damn, like they're also human, and like they're like suffering. It's like I identified with that, so I just want to tell you my condolences and everything like that, because it's not easy, like to be a child and then watch them get sick is like, that's hard. So I definitely want to give you your flowers and send her a lot of blessings.
Thank you, and I'm sending you good vibes as well too, because I've been in your shoes as well too. So all I can say is just be there for the people that your mom, for the people that you love, and it'll be worth it.
Yeah, because you never know. Like, sometimes we feel like our parents are like superheroes, and then like they're not. They're human too. So, definitely, she's definitely your angel. She's definitely looking after you. She's definitely there for you, and she's gonna be there guiding you throughout this whole process. So, definitely, God bless.
No, yeah. I turned that pain into strength. So I'm definitely here because of her.
Yeah, I feel
for
like that
Ryan.
gave you a lot of your motivation, and I think that's very inspiring, because sometimes you turn tragedy to triumph.
It's crazy. Who I was in high school isn't the person who I am today. Of course, years pass by, but you mature, of course. But
Yeah.
sometimes it takes something tragic for you to actually realize what is it that that you truly want and that you truly want to be.
And I feel like sometimes when we start moving in our purpose, it just starts, everything starts unfolding. Like the doors just start opening. Like once you start doing what you actually supposed to be doing, like the doors just start to open up. Because it's like, I'm sure that once you decided from your poetry, I want to do music, then you went to the studio, probably recorded, and then you're like, all right, this is what I want to do, and that journey started for you. So I feel like that's also very, very important. I feel like we all have a story to tell, and we all should learn from one another instead of like judge each other. And us as Latinos, like we have to be a little bit more together here, please, because even though we're from different countries, like it shouldn't matter. We're all Latinos, like or we're all human beings.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't matter where we're from. So that's it. But yeah. So you have an EP coming out, and do you have anything exciting that you want to tell us about? Guys, please check out his website, because his website is super dope. He has a whole play. Like if you go on the site, you could listen to all his music on the site. You don't even need to you could click out of you. That's really dope. Like how you have that set up too. I think that's super amazing. Do you get like streams off that?
Yeah. So shout out Rhythmic Rebellion actually for sponsoring that. Yeah. So they're I think they're working on it, but they're not. I don't think it's fully. I don't have all my music there yet. So if you're looking for all my music there, I do have some of my music.
Yeah, I
So
know how to go to different places.
some
Yeah.
of my earliest music is there. So if you want to hear some of my like old stuff, you could find there. But I don't think they do streaming just yet. But that's the goal. The goal is to do streaming and also to pay artists more than Spotify and Apple Music. And so they contacted me a couple years ago and they decided to support me. And so I'm working with them. Using their platform, to to
Yeah.
leverage mine as well too.
No, that's super dope because I feel like that's important. Like you working with somebody else that's you're trying something different and you're going against the grain. And I feel like if that works for you, then more power to you. And how do you feel about the stream like payout? I feel like they don't pay artists what they deserve.
Yeah, I think that's a crazy ass thing too because there's so many artists in the world,
Right.
and then just with artists, there's also comes with different qualities. So I think it's a touchy thing. I think it's like art. Any art, people decide how much that song, that art is worth based on their attention to it, based on their demand on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make good music, people are gonna want to listen to that music,
Yeah.
that song. So it just really depends on your perspective on it. It's very cheap. They pay you what 0.000 something. So it's like it's really nothing. That could be subjective as well too. But I don't look at it like that. I don't
Yeah.
look at it like maybe I should, maybe but I don't because I know that there's gonna be like more opportunities as I'm releasing my music. As I release more music, I get new listeners. New people watching what I do. So it's just me sharing my music to the world in a platform that does pay you little, but for me, I see, hopefully, right. I mean, I'm still living through this. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
learning through this, right? So I don't know exactly where is my end,
Yeah.
So, but
Still
progress.
in it.
Yeah, we're
And
still in
then
it.
also, it gives that exposure and also like mostly everybody has a Spotify, Apple Music and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So it just gives people easier access to it, like not having to like download an external app and stuff like that. So I get it. It's more like for exposure.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot in the Web3, is because we're trying to create a technology that is fair
Yeah.
for artists and also is fair for the creator. And so because as we know, Spotify, Apple Music, they don't pay artists like that.
No.
So that's what the Web3 is about. It's that revolution of technology that stands up to these companies. So you don't have to go through middlemen anymore. You can go through your own audience, through your own market, through yourself, through your own technology. You just have to find the right people.
That essentially would be amazing for artists if they can get what they're actually worth for what they create because people just see the final result but they don't see all the things that go into it before you guys actually put this out. It's literally a piece of you and your resources, your money, your time, your energy. It's so many things that go into it, and I'm actually surprised that there's no like artist union. Like why isn't there like a would you be opted in if there was to be like a artist like a art independent artist union that protects all
That's
independent.
crazy. That you
Why
said, like,
isn't
artist
there
union.
that? What do you
I feel
think?
like I feel like the Web3 is like an artist union. Babe, it's kind of crazy that you said artist union. I feel like Web3 is like an artist
That's what
union.
it sounds like to me.
But the thing is, what I realized is that sometimes we have like thoughts, opinions that are not fully fabricated. So it means that there might be factors that we're not counting in, that we're missing, and sometimes, like you said, knowledge is power. So by knowing certain knowledge, it'll fix certain thoughts that sometimes I think that's why education changed my life, because it allowed me to learn things that I didn't know before, and it expanded my mindset into to things that I've never thought I would have evolved to. So yeah, so it's just matter of just taking your time, and being patient, and don't rush things because there could be things that you might not know. And, just being open minded to those things.
Yeah, always be willing to be a student. Don't always think that you know everything. I feel like that's why, you put out you're always educating yourself, learning new things, reading books. Me too. I feel like I have a couple books I picked up recently too. I've been reading. I've been doing things too. I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of newspapers. I do a lot of like reading every day. I read a lot. I read a lot of things because it's like we can't possibly know everything. And then it's like we always have to be willing to sit and learn because that can help us down the line. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want everybody, please tap in. IamLouis.com. Tap into his merch. Tap into all his music. He drops once a month. That's very consistent for a lot of artists that, consistent. Are you open to doing features? I do have a lot of people that watch me for that.
Yeah, so my futures are very like relationship based. Also to if you if you really want to negotiate some things, then I'm also open to that. But it's very relationship based.
Yeah, because it's very personal. I do have one last question for you. If there was some advice that you could give your younger self, what would it be?
If there could be an advice that I would give like my younger self, I feel like I'm still learning, so I think. And I feel like I've done that. I mean, maybe. So I would just continue. I would tell myself, like, don't stop learning.
Yeah.
Like, just don't, like, I don't know where I'm going to be at in a couple of years, but I just know that I'm not done yet. So I can't really say, like, this is a good advice for you because I feel like I still have a lot of things to accomplish. Of course, I accomplished a lot already, but I still feel like there's still much more that I need to do. I want to buy my father a house. I want to buy my sister also, she has a family, so I got a couple things that I want to accomplish before I give a certain advice like that. But just an advice that I would give my younger self is just don't stop learning. Continue to learn as many things as you can and make as many mistakes as possible, because from every mistake you learn. So that's what I probably would say.
Yeah, guys, do not be afraid to learn. Do not be afraid to go back to the drawing board. Do not be afraid to start over, scratch the project, start over again, because, we are in competition with ourselves at the end of the day. We should be wanting to outdo ourselves, not other people. Yeah, I agree with that. Guys, make sure you check them out. NFTs, public speaking, like in college, writes his own music, writes poetry, doing a lot of things, public speaking, the web. What was the name of it? The Web 3?
Web3?
The Web3, guys, please tap in with that. You're going to have to send me the link to that. I want to check that out.
Yeah, so it's not really a link. It's like a community.
I want to check that out. Yeah.
That's
the
really
Artist
what it
Union.
is.
Guys, tap in with that. Like, because, what is it called? Either we stand together or united we fall, or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's kind of crazy that you're saying like a union, because that's really what it is. It's artists that think differently, that want to get out the regular system, that want to have control of their own rights, their own ownership, and just grow.
No, literally, like, I'm not an artist, but if I was an artist, that would be my kind of vibe. Like, I would want to be a part of a collective of something that like protects us, and like I would want to create that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's a lot of like culture vultures and a lot of people that are like out to get, like, steal art. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if everybody's going through the same thing, why not merge together and like kind of like, create kind of like a community of it, like of, all right, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this our way because this is our art and it's coming from us. So if it's either this way or no way, because I feel like once you do that, they kind of have to abide by your rules, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Because if now you could just hold the art.
That's right.
Right? But yeah, that's dope. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate you guys. We at Sesh House. You already know what time it is. We at Sesh House in Kearney, New Jersey. We got Remy on the ones and twos here in the camera. We got Louis in the building. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you. And y'all already know we got another episode of the podcast down. I don't even know what season we in. We mad episodes in. Peace.